just dropping a quick little video for a check-in real quick. It's been some high winds, which what you're seeing in front of me, they're in my way anyways. So they somebody ordered a car to the truck stop. It was up on the top ramp and they just rolled it off. They went to put the other one back up because it was on the front. So these people come to claim their car. Kind of gets in the way, as you can tell, but no big deal. This is just stuff they do at the truck stop all the time. It's normal. If you call things that happen at a truck stop normal, this is normal. So anyways, he's fixing it. You get to see a car go up on a truck. You got to get a running start and do it straight, you know. So anyways, it's so high though, he's trying to keep it low by leaving it back there on the back for the height, the rolling height of the whole truck. I was talking about 13.6. These guys really got to watch it and they got to measure, but you can look at the adjustment off the top of his truck. Let's see, there we go. You can look at the height of the top of his truck and you can see what I'm talking about. I can get this reflecting thing out the way. So anyway, kind of hard to I mean, I can't leave. I was actually going to leave, but I'm patient and this is no big deal, like I said. So it's kind of hard to stay on point and on subject when you're doing a video and a lot of stuff like this happens around you, so it's a bit of a distraction, but I'll try to stay on point. Okay, so evidently they have, Antifa has went to Mexico and they're now embedded with the caravanners that are trying to stay. I saw a video on that. I'll put a link to that. And they snuck evidently some of them across the border to here. When I say some, they're claiming that 1,000 got through, or 1,500. I don't know how that would have happened or where, but there you go. We need a border wall. You know, it is what it is. So, and they're dropping them off. Here's what they're doing. They're once they're 1 foot on the ground there, they're taking them in and saying, okay, you know, if they surrender themselves, they say, okay, we want amnesty, or not amnesty, or what do they call it? Political asylum. They're seeking political asylum. So until that court thing goes through, because of our laws, they can only hold them for 20 days or so if they have kids, and they can only hold them for, I'm not sure how many days they can hold them if they don't have kids, but the point is, they'll even split up with the kids and one parent take one kid, one parent take the other, so that they all get released, because they have to release them, and then releasing them to these fake churches that are aiding and abetting illegal immigration. They're giving these people food and stuff, but it's like they're accepting them straight off of the truck from immigration, you know, from the Department of Homeland Security buses, you know, that are immigration, because they got to drop them somewhere. And so they're dropping them at this place, and those people are giving them what they can give them and giving them a place to stay until they can get to wherever, and then they get gone and they never show back up for their court date. So that's how it's working, that we're still getting people, an influx of illegal immigrants into the United States. Is they're starting out with Antifa and lawyers and all that, you know, trying to tell them, hey, you could just sneak in like the rest of them did. And I don't know if they're using coyotes to smuggle them over, the guys that go out there, and it's dangerous to even trust them and what, and they'll sometimes leave them in the desert. And then they're going to, there's portable water stations out there in the desert where they can find water, where churches and stuff have gone out there in the desert and put portable water stations, and they give them the location to help them make it through the desert.
And that car with you on it messed you up, so it on.
Anyway, by the way, if somebody left their license, the subway has a license for a female driver, whoever it was. You can go claim your license. They said it was a Kansas driver's license. That's all I got for that.
Oh wow. They probably already took off too.
Yeah, probably. So anyway, that's about the third time I've announced that. But anyways, so you know, and get a CB radio, people. If you're a driver, get a CB radio. It can help you get your license back. So anyways, so yeah, so these there's all these different groups, there's all these different entities that's helping illegal immigration, and the ones that are over here, it should be called aiding and abetting. But they should, if they have to release them, honestly, they should be dropping them. I mean, some of them do go to bus terminals. What is the answer for that? I don't know the answer for that, but there's people who were down there with the caravan that are claiming that there's, you know, 1,000 or 1,500 of them that are missing that actually they believe did make it to the United States. So I seen a video on that, and it was pretty good. Boots on the ground, talking to people, and then the Antifa, like I said, is just sitting down there with them, trying to tell them they have rights and trying to tell them don't listen to the Mexican government and don't move. Even though the Mexican government's like, you know, move. So they're treating it like a hostage situation down there is what they said. That was their words, not mine. But I sitting here having what's the tail end of a lunch, and I'm going to have a cigar, and I thought instead of going live, I thought I'd do a quick video on it. But the border wall is being built every day, people. There's people that want you to think that just because they shut the government down that it's not being built. It's absolutely being built every single day. There's workers out there every single day. They're you know, digging the ground with a backhoe real deep, a track hoe, it's large, and pouring concrete footings and the wire and putting the steel slats in the ground, and they are you know, building it. They've got, there's going to be certain sections that they're of course not going to build it in mountains, but they're going to have border patrol there. But it's helping. They said it's helped so much to deter people, and to, even if it just channels them into certain sections, but they've put up cameras that are watching that side of the fence, and it alerts them. So if somebody decided to come up there and try to climb over, it will alert them. It'll buy them time to catch those people. There's groups of Americans that are going down there. They're calling for people to do that kind of stuff. I mean, if you had time and money on a vacation, I'm not going to say it would be a bad thing to go, but you better be careful, because even border towns are dangerous. They talk about the disappeared. You know what I'm saying? There's a word that has just basically become part of their culture to understand what's going on, is they use the word disappeared. There's people that have been disappeared, or they will say disappear them. Yeah, well, you need to be careful at the border that you don't get disappeared. You know, there was just a video up. They think it was some kind of abduction maybe or something, and I can put a link to that too. Another YouTuber put it up, and I shared it to help find them. But it was, I think it was a man and his daughter, I'm not sure, but they found their car, but they're missing, and it was in a border town, or not necessarily a border town. It was like I think they said it was the name of the town, Fort Hood area. Also, I'll have to find, I'll put a link up to it. That channel is Jennifer Veterans for Truth, and so that's another reason I'm doing this video, is to put an alert out there on that that there's some missing people. And I still have, like I said, I still haven't been able to put together a coherent bunch of notes and maybe links to what's going on where truckers are missing at rest areas. One female trucker was killed at a truck stop in New Orleans, I believe it was, down in Louisiana. So it's down there for, it was a Mardi Gras truck stop. But like I said, I don't have everything put together to really speak on that really well, but just know that there's stuff going on and you need to protect yourself. And so if you are going down to the border, or are going down to look at the wall that's being built, you need to know that there's inherent dangers, because there's people who can't get a job because of the E-Verify system, and they have nothing left to lose. And there's a lot of, you know, gang stuff going on, and this and that, and so it is what it is. It's dangerous. And I was talking to a driver the other day in a truck stop. He's out of Brownsville. He knows who I am if I'm, you know, if he's listening to this, but we talked. Yeah. And so even in the United States, even on our side, it's dangerous. It's inherently dangerous to be close to the border because of people that sneak across and sneak back across and stuff. And so yeah, if you're planning on going down to see the wall, like we were talking about, you know, it's just dangerous. It is what it is. And I would say go in a large group, because if not, you know, you could find yourself in some trouble. And then you definitely want to tell people where you're going, set up what you call a flight plan, kind of like how pilots are supposed to file a flight plan. You don't have to, but it's highly recommended, so that someone can come and find you. You know, do a check-in. If you're doing that kind of thing, do a check-in where someone is waiting on you to check in every so many hours, every 12 hours, that you send them a message. Even, you know, put stuff up on your Facebook Live if you do that kind of thing. Or, I don't go there, but like even on YouTube, you know, drop a video at a certain time and let people know you're all right. It's gotten to the point where some of the stuff that you see some of these YouTubers even do, you worry for them, you know, because they're going down across the border in Mexico and coming back. You want to hear that they're all right, you know. So the wall is going up though every day, whether they shut down the government or not. It's not true. If they want you to think that shutting down the government has done something to affect it, it has not. It's not true. Borders being built daily. So, and once again, I think I'm about to get backed into it's dangerous just being at a truck stop. Well, I tell you what, I don't know how this is going to work out. I really don't want to have to deal with this. Okay. They really should take those beepers and have switches on them for when they go to truck stops, because there's people that's trying to relax and stuff, and you know, you can't do it with that. Y'all hear that? That's ridiculous. So anyways, but yeah, if you're trying to go to the border, just be careful. And like I said, I'll get some stuff together and go live later. But after what I'm seeing in the news and seeing in different places on the internet, if there's anybody who's gotten disheartened over them closing the government and thinking that our border wall's not being built because they need funding, no, they need to properly fund it, and it would go up quicker if they did. They could hire more crews and stuff, but it's not stopping it, and he'll use the military to build it if he has to. That's just the bottom line. And it needs to be built because it will make us safer as a country. Not to mention all of the bad types of sickness and illness that comes from south, it's the North American continent, but it's the southern part of it before Panama, that they don't treat for a lot of infectious diseases that are easily spread. They got stuff down there like chongas, and I want to say that I'm not sure how much the polio is. They got a lot of upper respiratory illnesses and stuff that they've treated the people for in the caravan. It's really bad. It's gotten to the point where they're even realizing they need to wear masks. And it's not something we're inoculated for. If we went to those countries, we would have to go and get a shot because of it, to keep us healthy from dying. In the same way we used to have Ellis Island. There used to be a buffer. When immigrants came in, they would go to Ellis Island. If they had any sign of a cough, that might be tuberculosis, chips and salsa. Man, but tuberculosis or anything like a whooping cough or anything like any signs of illness, they would hold them there. They kept them there. They didn't let them leave until they were cleared, and if they were tested and they thought it was TB, they sent them back. You can't enter the country. Well, now, since they closed down Ellis Island, they test all these people at their home countries. It's about keeping America healthy and safe, you know? Sickness and illness does not discriminate between one person or another. They all have to be tested for it. Ask anybody who's immigrated here from India. They go through all kinds of questions about why do you want to come to the United States, and hey, you know, all kinds of tests, and they have to had a medical checkup before they ever get on a plane. You don't just get on a plane. You don't even just get on a plane just to go to places like, well, Germany, any place. You got to be inoculated for what they have there. We are inoculated for what we have here. Okay? So it's kind of crazy to think that they should be able to skip over the Ellis Island idea. You know, like they're too good to have to be inoculated or tested for any diseases, that they're just allowed to come on in because they're part of some type of a community that doesn't make enough money and wants to come here for, well, it's economic reasons, but for any reason. You can't skip over the idea of keeping diseases out of this country. You can't skip over that. You don't get a free pass. Nobody does. So they need to do a medical quarantine. I understand that they just cannot and have not been able to so far physically restrain all people from coming across the border. But this one guy did a chart too on all of the people who are coming from countries that have been put on a list of you know, possible hot spots for terrorism and stuff, right? This guy did a map of it, of where they come from and how they get into the, you know, South America, then to the North American continent, and then travel into the United States. So there's bigger issues than just some people that might be from Honduras or El Salvador. Okay? There's way bigger issues than just that. You have to keep in mind, think globally. There's some very dangerous actors from dangerous places that are actively trying every single day to get into the United States. The last thing we need to do is keep it easy for them. Okay? And there's videos going up all the time that you don't see, but people put on Twitter that are, and on YouTube, but that are recent, that are talking about all of the, what they call angel families, that have had people that have been killed by illegal immigrants that are here illegally, that never should have been here, and if they hadn't been allowed to stay, even if they've been deported 5, 10, 12 times, okay, and they've gotten back over and haven't been made to leave, these people have committed crimes and killed people, and they've done videos of all of the situations, all the news reports, little clippings, and put them all together to show people. I just watched one today, and it's sad, you know, all the things that's going on, that have all these little different groups that have helped illegal immigration to happen, and then that's the end result, is they wind up being in an accident where they drive a car into somebody and it kills them. They have some kind of an attack that they do on people and it kills them. And so there's all these families, they call them angel families, that have lost loved ones just because of people who are in the first place, they're not good people, and then they get into the United States. Some of them are leaving their country because they face prison time there if they don't run away, and their last effort is just to get to the United States and hide out. It's kind of like the old westerns. They talked about, well, if they could just get to Mexico, old Mexico, they could sneak over there and maybe they wouldn't be followed, and they could, you know, be an outlaw, right? Well, that's what they're doing from these countries like El Salvador and Honduras, and a lot of them. You can't just name one. A lot of them, all of them, that have outlaws, and they're trying to sneak over, you know, and it's got to be stopped. But they are building a wall. Don't let them fool you. And it's just a matter of time. Every president, though, has put some kind of a barrier down there. A lot of them look like garbage. A lot of them look like extra wasted concrete and scrap metal thrown together in a pile. That's what it looked like. the Normandy barriers, or what you would call them, that's what I call them, those were effective for cars, maybe not so effective for people. We're upgrading is what we're doing. We're going 2.0 on the wall, that's all. So don't let them fool you and think that, oh well, Democrats don't want a wall. They wanted a wall. They were building a wall before. They just never finished it because it was not a concerted effort by anybody that understood any type of construction. Trump has a construction business. No one can better build something than someone who understands construction. Pour good footing, you know, do it real. He's not playing. They even tested 5 different kinds of walls. There's videos on that if you want to watch that. And then they had our Special Forces guys try to climb them and see which ones they could not climb. One guy, I think, made it to the top and got stuck. I think that was the situation on that. That's what I heard. But the rest of them couldn't. And so, you know, he had to be helped down. So, if you look at it, it's going to have a positive effect on our not having any kind of a health crisis or something like the Spanish flu, bubonic plague. You know, there's a lot of diseases that could easily be spread, like tuberculosis, even measles, mumps, rubella, MMR. We have shots for that. They don't. So, and people that haven't had any kind of a booster after a certain age would need a booster, because if their kids bring it over and you're older, you could die from it. So don't think that just because you're old and you live this long that you're not susceptible to disease that's transmitted in the air. Just a couple of feet away, or even a foot away or less, or more. I mean, up to like 5-8 feet. TB, tuberculosis, you know, and there's more deadly strains of that stuff that are resistant to any type of antibiotics. We got to protect our people. The first line of defense would be a wall. The second would be vetting and also a medical checkout, you know, and make them get inoculated. Then the third would be, do they have any reason to be here that's any kind of a bad reason, or have they been wanted in their own country of origin? They don't even ask for papers, you know, at this point. They you know, if they're sneaking over, once they get here, I don't even know if it's legal for them to walk up to somebody and say, hey, I need to see your legal status. They can ask for identification, but they have identification, sometimes it's fake. So, yeah, it's a daunting task. It's got a whole bunch of different parameters to it. It's a whole bunch of, it's like fighting a war on many fronts at the same time, just in that one immigration situation. But they got to start with that wall, people. That's just my thoughts on it. And I just wanted to say that, like I said, I see pictures and updates daily of people putting stuff up about Mexico, and they're down there and stuff. And I also see every so often them showing the wall being built. It's being built. It's going up. There's nothing that's going to stop it. Every past president has built something towards it. But this is going to be a concerted effort to actually stop, to end it, to end all the illegal stuff going on. And our country will be better for it. We could pay $5 billion, get it done, or 155 billion to pay for the ones that are over here illegally, for all their health care and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. You know, it makes no sense to disregard the old truth, and that is, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. With that, I'm gonna get off this thing. That's just my thoughts for the day. I'm gonna get going. Y'all have a good day. If you're driving a truck, y'all be careful in the Midwest, because and even the middle America, in the central and the east, we're having high winds sustained at 40, gusts up to even 50 and 60. 60 can turn over 18-wheeler if it's sitting still, if you rocked enough. I've seen them in Texas roll over right next to each other. So just parked empty. So y'all be careful driving. I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good day. Peace.